The Nation's Business. Political broadcasts by representatives of political parties on time provided by the CBC and its affiliated stations. Tonight, on behalf of the Progressive Conservative Party, the Honorable Barbara McDougall, Minister of State for Privatization and Regulatory Affairs.
The free trade deal is not only important to the Conservative government, it's important to Canadians because it means jobs and jobs for the future. It means more jobs and better jobs. It's important to Canadian farmers who now have access to the U.S. market. It's important to Canadian business. It's important to Canadian women. It's important to small business. And it's important to Canadian consumers who will have access to a broader range of goods at better prices than they've had before. So it's important not just to the Conservatives, but it's important for the future of Canada. Women are not going to lose thousands of jobs in this agreement. I want to make that very clear to Canadian women. There will be opportunities created for women as well as for men. And I know that there is a study that says in Ontario, for example, 100,000 women will lose their jobs. And it refers specifically to the textile, footwear, clothing industries. What the study does not say is that the competition in those industries comes from offshore countries. It doesn't come from the United States. What the study does not say is that Canadian companies vis-a-vis the United States are competing better and better every day. Their sales are increasing there. And that access to that market and longer production runs will mean more jobs and better jobs. The study does not say that the Canadian textile industry, the people who make the investments and create the jobs, are saying that they will do well under a free trade agreement. So there is both a way for women to increase their opportunities, but I don't like the kind of fear-mongering that suggests that people are going to be hurled out onto the street because it is factually incorrect. The trade agreement will have no impact whatsoever on social programs. We've heard a lot of this being spread around the country, and it simply is not true. The Prime Minister said as we entered these negotiations that there were some things, some principles that he stood for. We have delivered on every one of them. That includes social programs. The things that are important to women, such as pensions, child care, all those things, our ability to provide those services is not impaired. In fact, it has helped because what is going to finance those things in the future is the generation of new jobs and new wealth. And without the jobs and the wealth and an expanding economy, it's going to be harder and harder to meet those very important commitments. So it's going to enhance the environment for those rather than the reverse. There are so many young women today that are taking professional courses whose ability to participate in the business world is better than it's certainly been in my lifetime. And if I were a young woman graduating today, I think my eyes would light up when I looked at the kind of future that was available under this agreement. The ability to, in the service industry, for example, which is a very important industry to women, one where women run a lot of businesses. 76% of the employees in the service industry are women. And we have, for the first time in history, a free trade agreement in services. That's a very strong Canadian industry. We have a lot to contribute, and it's an area in which women excel. And so I would say to young women, take advantage of this arrangement, look at what your future opportunities are because they're getting bigger and brighter every day, and this trade agreement will help them.
The Honorable Barbara McDougall, Minister of State. Nation's Business is a CBC Ottawa production.